buying. Should be. The Lakers and the Grizzlies deadlocked here. Just under 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, George. And your Lakers have just given up the lead over here. Grizzlies up by 1 point. And all the drama, all the speculation, all the conversation is revolving around one Anthony Davis. He got hurt at the end of the first half. Hurt his shoulder. He was going in for a rebound. Got tangled up with Jaren Jackson Jr. a little bit. And then was seen mouthing, "I can't move my arm." He goes into the locker room, comes back in the third quarter, got a couple of buckets, but goes back in with a nerve stinger. What are your thoughts on old AD there, George?
Man, this is normal, dude. You know, you get a little ouchy in a big game. It is A-okay. But the most important thing is that we found out Anthony Davis got that dog in him, man. He got that dog in him. He came back out, played well, played hard, and it's normal, bro.
Well, he had that dog in him in the third quarter. I don't know. I don't know what's going on now with the nerve stinger, and he's not on the floor yet in the fourth. Now he is. Now he's back out there, George. Anthony Davis.
You don't have to worry about us, man. We good out here in these streets.
So you got this. I just want to know, do the Lakers have game one wrapped up here with about 9 minutes to go, George?
No, it's not wrapped up. However, the series is wrapped up. But the
series is wrapped up, but game one hangs in the balance.
Yes.
Okay. I want to hear the reasoning why I'm assuming you're saying the Lakers have the series wrapped up here. I know you well enough to say that.
Yes, the Lakers are going to win this series.
Why is that? What are you hanging your hat on over there? Huh?
First of all, this has been the best team in the NBA since the trade deadline. They are healthy. They're playing well. I mean, they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis is playing like an absolute. I mean, he's playing the best basketball of his entire career right now. So yeah, I feel real good, actually, real good.
Okay, a couple of holes to poke in your Laker, optimism over here. Call me Mr. Reality or Mr. Pessimism, your choice. But like the whole thing I hear about the best record in the West since the All-Star break. Not every team in the West had the same motivation. Look at the Denver Nuggets. Denver played awful down the stretch, and yet they still are the 1 seed. If they're fighting for their play-in lives, it's a different scenario.
See. Yeah, but there's a bunch of teams that were playing for their lives, and they didn't play as well. And the Lakers did. And just like for instance, you mentioned those Denver Nuggets. If they come out and they lose in the first round or they lose in the second round, that's not going to be good enough, pal. So I don't want to hear anything about them until we get more clarification.
Here's the thing, and I agree with the first part of it. That's not going to be good enough. Denver has to reach the Western Conference Finals at a minimum. I agree with that. But what's funny is, why aren't those the same standards for the Lakers? Those should absolutely be the same standards for the Lakers.
What do you mean, back-to-back MVP guy? I mean, if you are the MVP, you are supposed to be able to will your team to a certain level of playoff success, and especially back-to-back MVP, and people are stomping on the ground for a three-peat. So yes, there is going to be some expectations as it relates to you.
So yet again, I'm with you on the Nuggets. Why don't we have the same expectations for the Lakers? You just started talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're saying he's never played better in his NBA career. Some would beg to differ, but he's playing very well, right? The trade went their way. They get rid of Westbrook. You get D'Angelo Russell. Rui Hachimura's been doing his thing. Why don't we have the same, this isn't going to be good enough if you're one and done, Lakers. This isn't going to be good enough if you just win one series. Like, why don't we have the same expectations for the Lakers? We have a really talented roster. It should be there.
Amongst Lakers fans, there is that. However, the national media is just going off the record. They're like, oh, yeah, this is this team was bad. Like they're looking at this Lakers team like this is a bad team, and it clearly is not at this point. Was it a bad team in October? Absolutely. And does that mean and that's where people sometimes get confused about the Westbrook situation. They think that people think that Westbrook sucks. No, Westbrook does not. He's not the demon and worst player that everybody tries to make him out to be. He was just it was a bad fit with the Lakers. And if you look at historically throughout this man's career, like Kevin Durant wins an MVP with who?
With Westbrook, sure.
Who did James Harden win an MVP with?
Yeah, Westbrook was. I don't know if he won one when Westbrook was there. Was he there at the same time?
Yep. So he's had, and there have been other examples too. Bradley Beal played the best basketball that he's ever played with Westbrook.
Well, I don't know. I like that you said people made him out to be a demon. That's where my
they're like, oh, he's awful. He stinks.
No,
he's
but you're
bad
right.
with the media. He's all of the work. He's washed up and all this. And I'm like, how the dude can still get it? Like, now, if we're being honest about Westbrook, because I clearly sound like a guy who supports Westbrook, right? There are some things about him, that frustrate me. As players typically get older, what usually happens with like their free throw, field goal, and 3-point percentage? Like I'm talking about really, really good to great players.
Well, it depends who you're talking about. Some of them, it goes up. Others, it goes down. It just depends on specifically who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about the top ones. It typically goes up as their athleticism goes down.
Sure, because you got to bring something to the table.
Yeah,
right.
But Westbrook, granted, his athleticism is still top tier, but like the fact that this dude used to be an 80% free throw shooter for the first 7 years of his career, and now he's like a 60-something% free throw.
Yeah.
It's odd. His
very
3-point percentage hasn't gotten better. He still has reckless turnovers. I don't understand for a guy who's smart, who is clearly dedicated to his craft, in shape, all of these things, how that part of his game hasn't gone in the right direction.
Well, look, man, I'm not too far away from you with Westbrook. He was a bad fit with the Lakers. He's not a dude that, you're going to kick it to and he's going to hit open threes.
No.
Like that's not his deal. Yeah.
Yes. So you are setting him and yourself up. You're setting everybody up for failure if that's your expectation.
That's right. Well, hey, we'll keep you updated on this Lakers game. Lakers and Grizzlies in a really, really good game, game one. I'll tell you what, I'll sign up for, by the way, Lakers up right now by 1 point, about 7:30 to go. I'll sign up for 6 more games of what we saw last night in this Warriors-Kings series.
Oh, Lord. That was so, oh, God.
That was just high
the
level.
Was so bad.
It depends on, if you have steak on the line or not. Well, the ending might have been great. Because we do have a stake bet on this.
With the amount of fouls, dude. Like the amount of fouls, the Kings in the last 3 minutes of the game didn't even really have to make any shots.
Oh, they had to make shots.
Oh, they were mainly making free throws.
De'Aaron Fox hit a clutch 3. Harrison Barnes hit a clutch 3. Sounds like it sounds like Warrior love, like Warrior rose-colored analysis there.
Could be. But there was definitely too many. I'm talking about just the flow of the game, too, in general. It was a lot of foul calls. That was.
Yeah, but still, though, high-level basketball. Still a really interesting ending. For the record, as Austin Reeves hits a 3 right there, Lakers up by 4. For the record, George, we have a stake bet on the line. I say that the Warriors will not reach the Western Conference Finals. You say they will.
No, that was not the bet.
That was absolutely the bet.
No, that was not, because who do the Warriors have to play in the second round?
The Warriors, let's see, what would it be? The
Lakers.
Oh, yeah. It's the winner of the 2-7, and you say it's the Lakers.
Exactly. Exactly. So you know that there's no chance. No, that is not what I said.
That's absolutely what you said. I knew
not.
you would try to pull this. I should have grabbed the audio from last week's show. Now it's going to be a pain to do it during the show. Like, yes, that was the bet.
No,
I was saying no Western Conference Finals, and you were saying, yes, absolutely Western Conference Finals. Because you'll remember last week.
No,
you were like, are they beating? Are the Kings
over
winning?
the Kings. It was just over the Kings series.
No.
Yes, that was all it was over. What are you talking about? No, you're trying to talk about the Western Conference Finals. There is not a snowball's chance in hell that I would have predicted them to go to the Western Conference Finals when they have to go through the Lakers.
There's not a snowball's chance in hell. When you said, are the Kings beating the Warriors? I'm like, I don't know. Kings don't play any defense. They don't have any playoff experience. The Warriors might sneak past the Kings.
Oh, Lord.
I wouldn't have gone from that to, you know what, stake bets, George.
After last night, now all of a sudden, that tune change after last night, huh?
What? Why would it change after last night? The Kings won.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change my tune if they lost, baby.
That game went.
Saw how it went.
How that game went.
Yeah, I saw the Warriors find another way to lose on the road, which is what they've done all year.
Hey, don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about nothing. Nothing.
It's a new low, George. First off, you don't pay off the grapefruit bet when Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 overall pick. And
what are you talking about? I said he would be the. What are you?
Just trying to back out yet again. Every bet we have, I got to get the audio
Trevor
right away.
Lawrence should be the number 1 overall pick. What is wrong with you? And it was clear who it was going to be.
No, somehow, some way, you went rogue and said it's going to be someone other than Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, what are you talking about, George?
You are. This is slander. This is absolute slander.
This is history. This is how far back do the podcasts go in the Fox Sports Radio archive over. This is a general rule of thumb. I'm writing it down right now. Any bet you make with Reister, grab the audio immediately afterward, or who knows what's going to happen. You know, I have it in my notes now, George. Goodness. But hey, we'll agree to disagree on that. I'll grab audio. De'Aaron Fox was tremendous. 38 points. What a stat.
Really
Listen to this,
dude.
George.
He's freaking good, dude.
Listen to this.
He was good.
Heading into the game last night, Steph Curry had 128 career playoff starts. De'Aaron Fox had 0. Yep. That was his first playoff start last night.
Yeah, dude, he was freaking incredible last night. He was incredible. Like there's no other. I mean, he was spectacular. He was clutch. He was all of those things. Now the question is like here is where the Warriors have an advantage, is that they've been through so many of these battles, dude. They've been through so many of them, and Steve Kerr has been through so many as well. But the only question is, Mr. Mike Brown, he's the wild card. He's the wild card because how many times, like he's been through so much with Steve Kerr that Steve Kerr is going to have to pull something out of his bag that Mike Brown that he doesn't know.
Well, the thing is, look, it was one game, and that's a great first step for the Kings. But like we can't make more out of a game win than you need to make.
There's a long way to go, buddy.
Long way. Because the Kings hadn't made the playoffs for 16 years, you look at game 1 differently. Right? Because the Kings hadn't been there for so long. The Warriors are defending champions. It's like the home team held serve.
May have been
What's that?
And then E40 got kicked out of the game too. Do you know that may have been the Bing Bong game?
The Bing Bong game.
For the Knicks.
Okay, how is that? How is it the Bing Bong game for the Knicks? So
you remember, what was it, 3 years ago when the Knicks won their first home playoff game in 20 years?
Right.
And then they Bing Bong that whole thing. And then they went on to lose to the Atlanta Hawks in that series, and Knicks fans were big sad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What if the Sacramento game is is that for Sacramento, where they haven't had it in so long? Their fans are all excited, and then the Warriors just pulled the rug from. I love it. I love it. The Bing Bong game.
The Bing Bong game. Possibly. Well, you know what? We got to compare some audio over here, George, because you mentioned the Knicks win last year, and then it went south. And there's some interesting audio following the Kings win that we will get to momentarily. We got NFL draft on the docket as well. We're within 2 weeks here, George. Major movement in the draft, top 5 order, speculation, reporting, all sorts of stuff to get to. So we'll talk a mixture of ball, hoops, and whatever else you want to get into tonight. I'm Brian Noe. He's George Reister. Keep it locked right here on Fox Sports Radio.
All right, here we go, folks. NBA playoffs. The Lakers beating the Memphis Grizzlies earlier in Memphis. It didn't look so good early on for the Lakers, but they seem to be the better team in this case. Now we got the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks going at it, and the Heat in Milwaukee leading. I mean, they came to play. The Miami Heat, who had to go through a play-in to even qualify for the playoffs. And now they're here, and the Miami Heat looking to be a pretty formidable opponent here. So, as we're in second quarter. I mean, Eric Spoelstra, who is 96 and 55 in his career in the playoffs. This guy got 96 career playoff wins, 2 NBA titles. Now, a lot of that is because of LeBron and Wade and Bosh. But all in all, Spoelstra has been pretty much the modern day Pat Riley. So we're going to try to see if we can get some stuff going here. Let me see. What could we get up? I want to be able to, so we're monitoring the game in real time. And there's a bit of a delay on my stream. And I'm watching on the tablet. So I guess this scoreboard is the most up to date. Heat 37-30, 40-30 now as Max Strus makes his 26-foot three-pointer. Heat now with a double-digit lead. Jimmy Butler leading Miami with 14 points. Chris Middleton leading Milwaukee with 8 points in the game. We're on HoopsSteady. Three-pointer now from Chris Middleton. And the lead is cut to 7. We're live on HoopsSteady on YouTube. Also, you can find us on Instagram at HoopsSteady. And another 3 by Max Strus again. This Strus kid is just knocking threes down like it's no tomorrow. So, notice the big theme in the playoffs so far. A lot of three-point shooting across the board around the NBA. Everyone's shooting threes all the way from Memphis to Miami to Sacramento. Golden State last night, probably the best series from an offensive standpoint, but little to no defense. It's going to come down to whatever team can play defense the best will win the NBA title. That's what it looks like. Whatever team is the best at hitting threes and whatever team takes advantage of the open space of mid-range jumpers, which will be available to almost anybody. Whoever can do those two the best will win the NBA title. That's why I think the Boston Celtics are the best suited for that, because they have guys who can hit mid-range shots. Look at Kevin Love out there with his gray hairs. Kevin Love is like 90 years old. He looks like the Saturday afternoon guy at the Y. Kevin Love, he's been around so long. Kevin Love's wide open. These guys don't like to pass. They like to go one-on-one a lot. Yeah, let me go out to my stream is giving me a hard time. It just is. So I'm not gonna lie. I really thought Memphis would win game 1 in that first series, in that first game. I thought Memphis would win, but the Lakers turned it up. They proved they could put up a lot of points. And this is back to that Memphis is supposed to be known as this defensive team, and hard-nosed defense, but the Lakers put up like 120 something on them. I mean, you ain't gonna win in the playoffs if you're known as a defensive team, but you're allowing that many points in a game where the Lakers didn't really look that great. So, I'm just saying, Memphis may have asked for. They may not have. The Lakers. I think Memphis not gonna be able to keep up with the Lakers if they scoring like that. Honestly. But the stage is set. I mean, the NBA is gonna cheat for the Lakers, especially if somehow Sacramento beats Golden State, which I think will happen. Lakers will plow through Sacramento because the NBA's referees are going to allow it. And then you're going to get to the point where Lakers will find their way in the conference finals. You look up, you wake up, like, holy smoke, the Lakers in the conference finals. And then you know how that goes because Denver or whoever comes out of that top bracket, they're not going to Phoenix. Phoenix may be the best option. You may see the NBA would love to see a Phoenix versus Lakers matchup, or somehow the Clippers beat the Suns. I don't know if that will happen, but I expect the Nuggets to dispatch T-Wolves. And if the Suns, so you see it's Nuggets Suns or Nuggets Clippers, either way, I don't think the Nuggets get past the second round, in my opinion. I just don't see it. I don't think they beat the Clippers or the Suns. They'll have a better chance against the Clippers, but because it depends on Paul George. Suns should beat the Clippers, but I don't think the Nuggets beat the Suns. So you could possibly, the NBA best case scenario here would be a Suns-Lakers conference finals, which is what they're hoping. Either way, the Lakers will love to see Suns-Lakers or Suns-Warriors, right? Because if the Lakers will beat the Grizzlies and the Warriors beat Sacramento, the Warriors could possibly beat the Lakers. It could go either way. NBA wouldn't mind either one. But the Suns Warriors will also be great for the NBA. They'll love that. They'll take that in a heartbeat. And especially defending champs. Then you got the Suns. I mean, that would be great for the NBA. So they have the matchups where they want them. There's not going to be a bad Western Conference Final matchup at all. Like the NBA is going to win no matter what. The only way it could be possible, because the worst matchup that could happen from a rating standpoint would be if the Grizzlies beat the Lakers and then the Kings beat the Warriors. So a Grizzly Kings second round would be a disaster from a rating standpoint. They would not want that. The NBA would not want that. And if the T-Wolves beat the Nuggets, that would be a crazy upset. But I don't think the NBA would be too upset as long as the Suns, because you get Suns or Clippers, especially if the Suns make it. But I still think that T-Wolves advancing would be bad for the NBA from a rating standpoint, because I think Nuggets is a bigger sell. And so the worst possible ratings matchup would happen. Worst case scenario would be Grizzlies Kings. NBA would not want that at all. So if both of those teams advance, we know that's not going to happen. So we know one of them definitely loses the series. So if you're telling me the Lakers will beat the Grizzlies, then then the Kings have a legitimate shot at beating the Lakers. Because say the Kings beat the Warriors and the Lakers beat the Grizzlies, Kings with Lakers is a good sell too. So either way, the NBA gets to sell something. You just can't sell Grizzlies Kings. You can't sell that. And even Nuggets T-Wolves is not a great sell, but it's a first round matchup, but it's not a great sell. Honestly, it's not. It's just not a great sell. But luckily they both in the same series, so the NBA is okay with that. Because they get it back with Clippers Suns. Right? Because the Clippers Suns are on there's a triple header on TNT. I'm assuming they put them all on TNT because you got Lakers Clippers, Lakers fans. They're excited for their victory. Maybe they're still watching. I don't know. even if you lose some of that West Coast audience, you still got a bunch of West Coast audience coming up that will watch Clippers Suns at 7. They'll still be watching TV. They probably go away for now. If they are they really watching Heat Bucks, probably not. They'll probably go eat dinner, have fun, hit the bar later. Then they'll watch Clippers Suns, the LA crowd and the Phoenix crowd, Arizona. And I expect them to turn the TV off at Nuggets T-Wolves, which is the night game. No one will watch. Right? There's a reason why they put the Clippers Suns game at 7 and the T-Wolves Nuggets at 9:30, because no one's gonna give a shit about that unless you live in like Minnesota or Denver. Let's just be honest. No one cares about Nuggets T-Wolves. That might be the least watched game of the playoffs, the least watched series outside of Denver and Minnesota. But on the East Coast, nobody cares, and out in LA, nobody gives a crap. They won't care either. You get a few people that care, but for the most part, the East Coast will not give two craps about Nuggets T-Wolves. That's why they put that shit at the last game of the night. East Coast will watch Clippers Suns, though. They will watch that, but they won't watch Nuggets T-Wolves. Shit, the East Coast, they might put reruns of Law and Order. They put reruns of Law and Order on the East Coast TNT feed at 9:30 tonight. That'll get a higher rating than Nuggets T-Wolves. The reruns of Law and Order or CSI Miami or some shit. Oh man, CSI Miami. No, the Law and Order reruns will do some numbers, boy. TNT knows. They know what's up. They know what's up. They be like, yeah, we're going to get them reruns. Law and Order. Jack McCoy. Get that Jack McCoy on. Could you imagine Jack McCoy brings in more ratings than Nikola Jokic at 9:30 at night? TNT. Oh, man. Oh, my God. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Try to get some feed going. Let me see something real quick. Let's talk about last night's game real quick. With the Golden State and Sacramento, right? Let's be quite honest here. So, the Sacramento Kings, it was a good game last night. And when you talk about the Sacramento Kings, and Bucks are leading with 4:20 to go in the half. I mean, not the Bucks, the Miami Heat, 52-44. Yeah. I want to go back to last night for a second. Can I find it? $126-123 was the final out in Sacramento last night. And De'Aaron Fox, this was like unbelievable, of course. 38 points, 5 assists, 3 steals. Curry led Golden State with 30, 2 assists. King shot 44%, Warriors shot 47%, 3-point line. Golden State shot 32%, 16 of 50. So Warriors took 90 shots, 50 from 3. 50. Ooh. That's a lot of shots. That is a lot of shots. 53s. Sacramento only took 32 threes. So Warriors took 18 more 3-pointers. So the theme of this series looks like the Warriors will throw the 3-ball up at and they shot at 32%, which is roughly where they will be at 33, 34, maybe 35 on a great night. So for the most part, Sacramento, the Warriors showed that they can get the shots. you take 53s, that means they're gonna shoot. Shooters will shoot. So I expect the Warriors to continue to chuck up 3-point line. Honestly, I believe Sacramento is fortunate to get out of game one with a victory, and I wouldn't be so high and mighty if I'm the Sacramento Kings. This game was pretty even for the most part. Kings they had more offensive rebounds. Warriors had 31 assists. Kings only had 18. That means Kings were doing a lot of one-on-one play. Not a lot of ball movement. Which hence why the Golden State was still in this game. Kings did out-rebound Golden State. They out-rebounded them 50-41. But the Warriors had better more ball movement. They blocked more shots. They have 2 more turnovers. Another key stat here was points off of turnovers. Sacramento, 16 points off of the Warriors' 15 turnovers. Golden State Warriors only had 5 points off of the Kings' 13 turnovers. That was the 16 points. That was one of the main things. So the points off turnovers which went Sacramento's way, and the 18 more threes attempt by Golden State. If you look at the stats, you break it down. Both teams were pretty equal from fouls, 25, 23 apiece. I know people were complaining about fouls. 48 fouls were called in the game. Pretty split down the middle, right? I actually thought that Sacramento got screwed a bit on the fouls because Sabonis, despite being hacked a lot, he only went to the free throw line twice. Let's go deeper into the numbers in that game. The defensive rebounding was pretty even. No dunks last night. No dunks. Wait, is that even accurate? I don't think so. Could be no dunks in an NBA game. That's what it says here. It says no dunks. So maybe they didn't count it. I don't know. The score, I'm looking at the scores breakdown. Maybe they wasn't paying attention because you can't tell me there's no dunks in an NBA game. That's impossible. I know. Like I said, I know both teams combined for 82 3-point shots attempted. 82 of their 88 shot attempts. 82 of them were threes combined for both teams. So the 3-point shot was definitely in the air everywhere. Like I said, I think the Kings are fortunate. Kings did win the paint 60-44. Kings are fortunate to be up 1-0. Despite all that, Draymond Green 1 for 5. Clay 8 for 19. Wiggins 7 for 16. I mean, all these guys shot in the low 40s. Jordan Poole 4 out of 10. I mean, the chances of that happening again. How many times in the series will Poole, Wiggins, Clay all shoot under 45%? Draymond 20%. I just don't think that'll happen maybe one more time in the series, but it probably won't happen much. Curry was 6 out of 14 from 3. Clay was 5 out of 14 from 3. Wiggins was 1 out of 8 from 3. A lot of guys, these guys just couldn't hit an open jumper to save their life. So I just don't think that happens. How often does that happen? And it wasn't because of great defense, because Sacramento did not play great defense, to my estimation, not at all. I mean, the Warriors still outshot the Kings in that game. Warriors still shot, despite how bad the Warriors shot. The guys missing shots, they still shot 47% for the game to Sacramento's 44%, despite how bad they shot, because they got the shots up, right? Warriors got shots up, which means that there's a lot of shots out there. So, and these guys, They didn't play any great defense at all. From Sacramento, though, there's some positive in Sacramento side to look at for the win, of course. Sabonis shot 29% for the game. He went 5 out of 17. You got to think Sabonis won't do that every game. You got Harder went 0 for 5 from 3. He's one of their best 3-point shooters. I don't think that will happen every night. Murray went 0 for 3. So those guys, you got to think Herder is going to have a big 3-point shooting game at some point. You got to think Sabonis is going to play much better than 12 points. He's going to go better than 5 for 17. This guy was a top 5 MVP candidate. So you got to think that that's going to happen. But Sacramento's bench definitely showed up. Golden State's bench did not. I expect the Warriors bench to show up at home. Will the Kings bench come back in Game 2? Now, Game 2 is actually the most important game, especially for a team who has 0 playoff experience. They got the first one, which was great. But you ask yourself, Game 2, who is it? Who's in more pressure to win Game 2? Is it Golden State or is it Sacramento? I say Sacramento. Sacramento, this is a must-win for the Kings. If it wasn't Golden State, if it was another team, Golden State, the defending champs, these guys, them being down 0-2 going back to Golden State won't mean nothing. It won't. We've seen this team come back before. They know how to play. And the series doesn't start till the home team loses. So if the Warriors win Game 2, they get the momentum going back to Golden State, and the Kings are in trouble. Game 2 is the first most important game of a series. I always say games 2 and 5 is typically the 2 most important games of a series. Usually game 2 sets the tone for the series, and game 5, especially if you're down 2-2, game 5 can really put you up 3-2. Or if you're down 3-1, obviously game 5 is a must win. So that's why I always say games 2 and 5 are usually the most important in the series. Besides game 7, obviously if it goes 7. But game 5 is the first chance. It's because you got game 2, right? And then game 5 is usually that first elimination chance, unless you're getting swept, of course. But if you're not being swept, game 5 is that first chance to to really. So Sacramento has a choice here. They got to win game 2. This is a must win for Sacramento. And hopefully Mike Brown is preaching that. Like, look, guys, game 2 is a must win. Because if you go down 1-1 and going back to Golden State, they got the momentum. The game 2 winner has momentum going into game 3. And you don't want to play around. I mean, ask Boston what happened when they messed up. And they should have beat Golden State last year. They semi-choked. And Sacramento's kind of looking at, you better win game 2. Because the thing is, like, if the Warriors would have lost, if the Warriors would have won in game 1, and Sacramento would have came back and won game 2, Kings would have had some momentum going into game 3. You always want momentum going into the road game. So if you're the team with home court advantage in game 1. So, but they won the close game. So, which means that the Kings now understand that they can win a close game. See, if they would have blew the Warriors out in game 1, they still wouldn't have been tested. Because it's like, okay, well, you're not going to blow out the Warriors. How could you react to a close game? And we've seen the Kings respond pretty well. They have 2 guys that can get a bucket in the fourth quarter, Monk and Fox. So the Kings will be straight in the fourth quarter, right? We see it right now. They got guys who can get a bucket. And when you're in a close game in the fourth quarter in the playoffs, most teams don't even have 1 guy. Kings got 2. So they have the advantage right there. So we'll see what happens in game 2, though. If the Kings go up 2-0, they just go up 2-0. That's what Golden State mindset would be. 2-0, okay, we're back home. And that's when the series really starts. Unless they lose a game too, of course. So that's my thoughts on the Kings Warriors series. And shit. We got halftime in Milwaukee. The Miami Heat 60 up 13 over the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. I mean, we talking about the potential upset alert in game 1 of the first round of NBA playoffs. Jimmy Butler, 24 points at the half with 3 steals. Bobby Portis is leading Milwaukee. That can't be a good sign when Bobby Portis is your leading scorer. No Middleton, no Giannis. I mean, this is not good for the Bucks. Can Milwaukee come back, or will Miami steal one? And if anybody can win on the road in the playoffs, it's the Miami Heat, as we've seen them do it before. Miami Heat was 6. And here's the funny part, believe it or not. The line has Miami as a 6.5 point favorite, which is strange. That was on Barstool Sportsbook. I don't know if that's the updated line. That might be the updated line. I don't think that there could no way that game could have started out that way. That would be crazy unless there was some kind of news I don't know about. Has Giannis even played tonight? Let me go to Milwaukee. I must have missed something. No, Giannis played. He played 10 minutes. Yeah, so Miami Heat right now -6 on the sports book at Barstool. So you want to catch in on that action, download the Barstool Sportsbook app at Google or Android, the Google Play Store or the Apple. I screwed that up. Lucky they're not a sponsor. I just said that. But yeah, if you got the Barstool Sportsbook app, you can catch Miami 6.5, I guess, for the second half if you're a gambler. But yeah, Giannis has played only 10 minutes in the first half. He must have got hurt. I don't know. It's kind of strange in a playoff game, getting blown out. Middleton's played 14 minutes. Brook Lopez, 17 minutes, 3 points, 1 rebound. Pathetic. You're 7 foot tall. You're stiff. 1 rebound. How do you only have 1 rebound in a playoff game? Really? You're 7 foot. You're supposed to be and he's in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year. He's not going to win it, but I think he's in like the top 2 or whatever. And he got 1 rebound. Godly. What is this? Greg Ostertag? Luke Longley? What else we got? Drew Holiday has 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. So Portis is off the bench with 15 and 6. 6 out of 9. 0 for 3 from 3, though. So that's what we got going on here in Milwaukee. Miami. Let's take a look at Miami. Bam Adebayo. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. He's 2 for 6, though. Jimmy Butler seems to be carrying the Heat offense right now. Tyler Euro has 12 points on 5 for 9. So Kevin Love playing pretty well. 13 minutes, 8.6 rebounds. Take note, Brook Lopez. Get more than 1 rebound in a playoff game. Douche. Godly. Brook Lopez can't even grab a rebound if it had a stake on it. All right. So we know what's coming up after this game. Clippers Suns at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Trying to get somebody on from Footprint. We're going to see if we can talk to somebody out there. We're still working on it. It's not a guarantee that we'll get somebody on the phone who's out there at the game, or at least around the atmosphere, trying to see what the situation is like out there. They still got tickets available as low as $106. And here's the kicker. Okay, more proof that no one cares about the Nuggets Memphis game. I mean Nuggets T-Wolves game. I'm just looking right now on the Four Letter Network's website. And at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, this is the number 1 seed Nuggets, right? At Ball Arena, right? And there are tickets, a playoff game. There are tickets as low as $37 available for the Denver Nuggets playoff game right now. So if you're in Denver and you want to go and see the Denver Nuggets play tonight at 9:30 Eastern, which what's that? I guess 6 or 7 Central or whatever, Mountain Time. You can go right now and get tickets for $30 as low as $37 to see your number 1 seed Nuggets play. That's how much nobody cares about the Denver Nuggets. $37 a playoff game? Golly. I mean, that is pathetic. That should be a crime. The NBA needs to get involved and say, hey, man, you got to up those prices. You $37? Oh, my God. Even if it's all the way at the top, that's still a low amount of money for a playoff game just to get in the building. Just say, hey, man, I was at a playoff game. I was at a playoff game. I got tickets. I went to the game the night of the game. 2 hours before tip-off, I went into the Nuggets. I got in for $37. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Oh, God. Denver Nuggets are 8-point favorites in that game, by the way. Maybe people say, you know what, I'm going skiing. Right? I'm going out skiing. I ain't going to no Nuggets game. I got more important things to do. That's what's going on there. How about that Lakers Memphis series? That Japanese dude, I can't pronounce his name. Hachimara. He's Japanese. He's Blackanese, I guess you want to call it. I don't know. He's Japanese. He's 29 points, 6 rebounds. He is the star of the night for the Lakers. He saved LeBron's ass. He saved LeBron's legacy. With the game 1 victory, 29 points, leading the Lakers. Right? 6 rebounds. 11 out of 14 from the floor. 5 out of 6 from 3. I mean, this guy was the Lakers' best player. And is he going to get more minutes? He only played 29 minutes. He scored a point a minute. This guy was so efficient. Will he get more minutes? Now, he got a lot of... Anthony Davis, who got hurt, still played 36 minutes. He played the most on the team. They gotta find a way to get this guy on the floor. This Hachimura kid. I remember when they went and picked him up, not a lot of people, some people were saying, man, this is going to be a good pick for the Lakers. We really didn't see it, right? It took time, but this could be a real big pickup, especially the Lakers can keep this kid. This kid's got a game. I mean, I remember when he was out in Washington showing some skill set, and when they drafted him, and people were saying, look, this guy, if he can get some minutes, if he get to a good team, a good system, this kid can play. He's got a skill set. Yeah, he's from Japan. He's born in Japan, 6'8", 230, so he's that forward guy. He's only 25 years old, folks. Played at Gonzaga. This kid this is a piece the Lakers can use. Now, they can either keep him long term or they can use him to flip him for some other assets. But this guy can score. He got post moves. He can hit the three. This guy has skill set. Interesting to see what the Lakers do with him in the offseason. I got to imagine that the Lakers are going to package him up because LeBron's going to say, hey, man, you need to go get me somebody, and they're gonna package him up. Unfortunately, Lakers are gonna do it. I wish they wouldn't, though. Honestly, I would say keep the kid. Get rid of Anthony Davis if you have to get rid of somebody. But they're gonna package him up and try to go out and get somebody that's already star-studded and ready to help LeBron win rings, especially if they don't win a title this year. But you also can see maybe LeBron leaves, right? Maybe he's like, time for me to go. I think a lot is gonna dictate what happens with the Sun, right? If the Sun goes to USC, which is all the indication that he might do, then you can see LeBron may stick around in LA. Or he may force his way out if he goes to, because he said he wants to play with his son. So how does that happen? Do the Lakers try to stick around and keep monitor? Because if Bronny goes to USC, the Lakers are gonna have to keep an eye on that, right? Potentially to say, hey man, we can probably keep you here and figure out a way to get Bronny. If we could, because he wants to play with Bronny. He made that clear. So whatever happens is going to dictate on what Bronny does. Now, Bronny can take a year off and go, instead of going to college, he can take the route of playing in these summer league things, these tournaments that, as long as you're 1 year away from your senior year, then you could jump into NBA draft. Right? He can do that. How does that work? What will happen? Because what if a team takes LeBron and they can't get LeBron? Because LeBron may still... So is he going to sit out free agency and figure out what's going to happen? It's just going to be real interesting to see what happens. I think that the Lakers understand that LeBron's a big name, right? And they could explode their next generation of fans and money. With Jeannie, who's a business-minded person from her business side, will she do everything in her power to try to keep LeBron happy by maybe even trying to either trade for picks or tank? Will LeBron really tank the season next year? I don't think the NBA would allow that. NBA would be investigating that. But how do they maneuver that? Right? I don't know. And any chance, because I don't mean, and then what if an NBA team out there is like, hey, LeBron's son, he said he wanted to play with his son. And why would the Lakers tank a season, especially where there's zero guarantee that Bronny could end up a Laker? Right? Zero guarantee. That means you would waste a season, lose money, waste a whole year, and then LeBron still walks because the team that would draft Bronny would be from another team. And then LeBron walks away. Now you're back to poverty franchise. So I don't think the Lakers are involved in this, honestly. I think that they understand that there's a chance that LeBron could leave, and they're probably okay with that. Because they're like, look, we're tired of the LeBron train anyway. I mean, LeBron's got this franchise by the balls. He's holding them hostage. All these trades. Go get AD. Go get this guy. Go get that guy. Trade for Russell Westbrook. Oh, it doesn't work. Get rid of Russell Westbrook. Give me back D-Lo. Do this, do that. Blah, blah, blah. Over and over again. And I think they're tired of it. They're like, look, we're done with you, LeBron. You broke Kareem's record. Good. You did that. Give us a deep playoff run. Maybe get us another ring somehow. Maybe, maybe not. But we're done with you after this last contract. He signed like a 2-year deal, right? So it's this season, then next. Sets himself up to go and leave. If I'm the Lakers, with 1 year left on the contract, I trade his ass in the offseason. Does he got a no-trade clause? I don't even know. I said, hey, LeBron, we can get some assets for you. We're just going to move you. That's what we're going to do. But LeBron's not going to be down for that. He's going to say, move me. If you move me, I guarantee you I will have Rich Paul never send a free agent back to L.A., a top guy. Like LeBron, he holds the Lakers hostage because his best friend, Clutch Sports, has got most of the top talent in the NBA, and he basically is the commissioner now. Like, we joke about LeBron being the GM the coach, right, and everything else. He's the agent. We need to start calling him the agent, the commissioner, because he is the NBA commissioner at this point. He owns the NBA. Him, Rich Paul, and his posse, they're running things in the NBA right now, folks. So LeBron will maneuver some way. He will MacGyver his ass to another team, and he has to make sure, and he makes sure the Lakers won't screw him over and send him to somewhere else. The Lakers gotta wait. They gotta wait. You can't do nothing. They can't do jack squat. So, do we got LeBron? We might have LeBron coming up. Let's LeBron on his game 1 victory, right? Let's see if we can pull this up. I think we got LeBron coming up. We might have LeBron. I know that was like over an hour ago, but I'm trying to figure out a way to pull up the clips to get some soundbite. Okay, we might have LeBron for game 1. We might have LeBron. Let me see. Where's House of Clips? I like House of Clips because House of Clips brings up some good shit. You know? They do. They have good stuff. Give me part. Let me see if we can get LeBron coming up. Nope. Sorry. Wrong. All right, we got LeBron James coming up. We're going to hear LeBron's game 1 presser. I only want to hear LeBron, though. I don't want to hear the other guys. The others, not important. We're going to hear LeBron, LaChina. Try to see if we get LaChina coming up here. Post-game interview. China. As you can see right there on the screen, LeBron James is tatted out in his Xi Jinping outfit, sponsored by Xi Jinping. And Dave Chappelle's like, what? What? All right. You got LeBron? We got LeBron. LeBron James. All right, we got LeBron James post-game.
1 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. That 2010-5, oldest player in NBA history to have that stat line in a playoff game. It just continues. Here's LeBron.
Floor, just what's different about playoff games when you two get out there, and specifically for tonight's game, AD defensively, what did you see there?
I mean, obviously we had great chemistry, and in the postseason, obviously, every possession is very important, and you got to dial in and understand assignments, things of that nature. So we've had pretty good success as a combo, and want to try to continue that. But tonight, it was our supporting cast that won us the game tonight, and obviously AD set the tone defensively with those 7 blocks and just changing shots at the rim, taking charges, things of that nature. But our supporting cast definitely brought us home.
You said pretty early on that Austin had earned your trust, for sort of obvious reasons for you. But how did it get to the point of tonight's that rhythm that he got in? What were you guys going to, and what was the focus there?
We trust him with the ball in his hands early in the game and late in the game. So we got something going in the fourth quarter, and after every stop, or if we didn't get a stop, whatever, I think Jaren Jackson went like a 5-0 run by himself when we went up 7. We went back to AR and just put the ball in his hands. He was able to hit a pull-up 2, able to hit a 3 when they kind of had a soft switch, and then hit another pull-up 2 to kind of put us up 8. So he closed the game for us offensively.
LeBron, you guys weren't as sharp as you had been over kind of the final last week of the regular season into the playing game, and Austin told us that, well, he had a feeling that the level of play would look a lot better from the group, starting with you and AD addressing the team on Thursday and kind of talking about locking in. As much as that message that you could share, could you tell something about like what you were trying to tell the group about setting the tone for this playoff run?
I mean, listen, we've kind of been in like desperation, kind of playoff mode for about 2 months now because we didn't really have much room for error to lose games or whatever the case may be if we wanted to put ourselves in a position to play right now. But, when the playoffs start, it's even more dialed in and understanding, assignments, not making mistakes. We can't have, multiple possessions where we're not running back on defense or, we turn the ball over. And obviously, me and AD had the majority of the turnovers tonight. So even when we turn the ball over, we got to get back and set our defense. But offensively, defensively, we got to be as dialed in as you possibly can for 48 minutes. And I thought the guys definitely understood that assignment and were really good tonight. But I think we could be even better.
LeBron, Rui tied the Lakers record for most points off the bench in a playoff game. How important was he tonight, and just the time, kind of the timely shots that he hit as well?
It speaks for itself. He was huge. Like you said, he had timely shots. They made runs in the third quarter. He had 2 threes in a row. They made another run. In the fourth quarter, he had another 3 off an AR pump fake drive behind the back pass. He also had a beautiful turnaround baseline jumper by their bench. But he was just on time, on target all night tonight, and we needed that, especially coming off the bench, especially as well as their bench is. They got so many great players to come off their bench, so we was able to counter that with Rui's big game.
LeBron, speaking of Hachimura, he's talked a lot about just, your words and what they've meant to him in terms of just building his confidence. Obviously, he's like a really respectful kid. What have you found just about trying to like unlock that thing in him? Like what is it? How have you been able to kind of get him to the point where he could have the kind of performance he did tonight? And also just how happy were you for him?
I think that's just part of my leadership, being able to, find what sparks every individual to try to reach their potential. The same with Rui. I see the type of player he is, we can become, and I just try to stay in his ear, give him positive motivation, give him positive messages, let him know how important he is to our team. And in order for us to reach the goal that we want to reach, he has to be a huge part of that. So, and he wants to be, he's asked me multiple times, what can I do to help the team win, and I tell him exactly what I think he can do, and it's not about making shots. That happens. You can make shots, whatever the case may be, but his presence alone, his size, his athleticism, it just brings another dynamic to our ball club. And, it's something that we didn't have early in the season when we had this type of length. Now with Vando and myself and AD and Rui, we got a lot of length out on the floor. So it definitely helps us be a complete team, and he's a really good player. I can't tell you everything. You have to pay attention. That's all. You have to pay attention on a day-to-day basis and know every individual is different. So you have to try to figure out how you can get the most out of every individual, and it's different ways. I think it comes from being a father, I think, too. Having 3 kids, I understand that, I got to, parent my kids differently to get the best out of them. Some of them I can yell at. Some of them I got to comfort, be more comforting, kind of, some I need to pull away to the side, and some I can yell in front of the group, and they be fine with that. So I think that helps.
Hey, LeBron. I apologize if you've been asked a version of this, but it's hard to think of a fourth quarter. I mean, I know AD got a couple dunks down the stretch, but a fourth quarter where I think the 2 you guys had taken only 2 field goal attempts for the big chunk of that. What does that say about the trust level that you've developed with Austin, Rui, D'Angelo, like these guys? Even though it's I guess still a moderately new group, like it felt like you really trusted those guys down the stretch?
Absolutely. I mean, we found something that was going. I mean, it's an old saying: if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, you know, we AR was able to see a couple shots go in, and we ran that pick and roll, the double pick and roll, where he was running the D-Lo said the first one, 80 clean up, and first one he was able to reject, get a pull up 2. Second one he came off, they had a switch, but they soft switch, hit a 3. Came back down, you know, he was able to hit another pull up. Another one, I was, you know, they shrink the floor on one of them on me. I was able to, he came off, read it properly, kicked it to me, I was able to hit a 3. So it's just, you know, when you know that you're playing with cerebral guys and you know guys that got high basketball IQ, then you trust that they'll make the right play for the team.
LeBron, with your postseason success, I don't want to make this bigger than it is, but to get this win on the road in a 7-2 series, especially you had said how well you guys were playing down the stretch, what's it mean for some of these young guys that don't have as much playoff experience?
I mean, it's good to get a game under their belt, to know what the postseason is all about, and even if you've played one series or whatever, just to get back into the flow of things. And I think that's very key for our young guys. It's AR's first playoff game, so it's good to get that under his belt. And a lot of our guys that's not as experienced in the postseason, it's good to get another postseason game under their belt, so they know what to expect. But we need to be a lot better in game 2. They're going to go back and they're going to counter. And I mean, we have 15 turnovers for 15 points. We can't do that. We got to be a lot better, and that starts with me, obviously. And we got to do a little bit better job on the glass as well. Even though for the majority we controlled it, but we got to do even better because that's what they're very good at. So we're going to look at some things that we can do better and hopefully be even more in tune on Wednesday.
LeBron, for someone like you who's been a part of countless playoff games, what was it like for you just to watch someone like Austin in his first career playoff game do what he did, and then for you as a leader, just kind of run me through what the conversations have been like with Austin leading up to
well,
this?
it's not surprising to me. I knew from the first practice that we had when we grabbed him that it wasn't going to be long. He wasn't going to be a two-way player for long. But then a couple weeks went by. I knew he was going to get a guaranteed contract at some point. I just know I've been around the game long enough to know great basketball IQ players, and I know the type of players that fit with my game, and I knew Austin would be that right away. So, and I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Vogel on just throwing him into the fire and let him learn on the fly, and allowing him to make mistakes and allowing him just to play through a lot of stuff. But I knew the type of player that we was able to get, in Austin. So it's not surprising what he was doing tonight. Maybe to some of you guys who either don't watch him as much or don't cover him as much, but for me, it's not. I'm extremely happy for him, and I want him to do it again.
So that's LeBron. And LeBron James, of course, the victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. That was LeBron post game talking about Austin Reeves at the end there, saying he already knew Austin was going to be a good player for him. And of course, LeBron is the GM. He's the scout, the recruit, the GM, the coach. He makes all the decisions on the Laker roster. So, of course, he knew Reeves would be good, because if he wasn't, he would have shipped Reeves' ass out of there in no time. That's basically what LeBron said. I'll just translate that for you guys to understand. LeBron basically said, yeah, I knew he was good. If I didn't think he was good, he wouldn't be there. That's what he's like for my game. So guys had to be good for LeBron's game. So you better fit my style of play, even though I'm 40 years old. And if you don't fit what I want to do, you're out. And Reeves fits what LeBron likes to do. So, third quarter is underway. We're about halfway through the third quarter. It looks like the Bucks are making a small run. They are winning the quarter 16-10. Cut the lead to 78-71. 7-point lead for Miami on the full timeout. Jimmy Buckets, 26 points, 6 assists on 3 steals. Chris Middleton has gotten back on the leading board for Milwaukee. He has 18 points now to lead the Bucks. So, looks like this third quarter, Milwaukee's going to make a run of some sorts. And we'll keep an eye on that as we are here on HoopsSteady Stream. Don't forget, HoopsSteady, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, HoopsSteady. Also, Instagram at HoopsSteady. So, send us some stuff. Reply to our latest video. As we watch some NBA basketball. Clippers Nuggets coming up next on TNT if you're watching at home. Footprint Center in Arizona. We still having trouble getting somebody on the phone from Footprint. We thought we had somebody, but it fell through, so we are still scouting away. If you're out of Footprint, let us know. Hit us up in the DMs on Instagram at HoopsSteady at protonmail.com. Sorry. That's SportsSteady at protonmail.com. HoopsSteady on Instagram. If you are around the Footprint Center area in Phoenix, Arizona, you want to, so we can get you live up on the air, and so we can. So we'll see what happens. So wow. Looks like an update in Golden State. Just looking at this right now on Instagram. It says that the Warriors were set up to practice today at Golden One Center, but at the last minute, Steve Kerr canceled it. Kerr, Klay Thompson, and Gary Payton spoke at the team hotel. Some interesting potential tweaks to the rotation discussions with Kerr. Oh boy. Is Steve Kerr going to bench Klay Thompson and give more minutes to Gary Payton? That is a development, quite a development, as Klay Thompson did struggle in Game 1. We could possibly see Gary Payton. I said it's funny because I was talking about how I thought that Steve Kerr should give more minutes to Gary Payton and Kuminga, who both play well. They're younger. They can possibly give more matchup problems, especially Gary Payton. He's a younger guard who can at least take some pressure off of the older Warrior guards with Fox and Monk. And maybe Klay coming off the bench, matching up with the Kings' second unit defensively, putting pressure on the Kings. I don't know. I still think you start Klay because you don't want to disturb a shooter streak. I think you let Klay start. Maybe you tad the minutes down and make sure Payton comes in quicker. But I think you don't mess with Klay. You let the guy get his stroke back. Because if you start tweaking him and he doesn't get that stroke, because if he ain't hitting shots, he's virtually useless. It's funny because I thought Klay was supposed to be this great two-way guard, but Steve Kerr is talking about benching him. Very interesting. Some people are responding in the comments. People are saying, put Dante back on the bench. Talking about Da Vinci. I know I just butchered that guy's name. He used to be with the Bucks. That's all I know. Someone said put Dante back on the bench. Start Wiggins and Poole alongside Klay, Steph, and Green. Match small ball for small ball. Or instead of Poole, maybe GP2. Yeah, but Poole's been awful offensively too. I don't know about that. And can Poole guard any of those guys? Makes sense. Klay couldn't really guard Fox, but I'll put Klay on Herter any day. Yeah, I mean, Klay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Herter's starting, Klay could still start. I wouldn't bench Klay. I mean, I get what Steve Kerr's trying to do. He's trying to switch it up, but you nearly won Game 1. If you guys hit a few more threes, right? You took 18 more. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't go too crazy. I thought Sacramento shot 44%. Warriors shot 47%. I think that guys just need to hit shots. That was probably the main factor. If Steve Kerr wants to reinvent the wheel, I don't think you tweak anything until, especially on the road. Leave it, let it go. You make the tweaks in game 3, if anything. Let's see what Clay can do. I don't know. I wouldn't bench Clay. Someone else said, it's all about matchups, not about Clay's play. Gary Payton II and Wiggins should be guarding Fox. He's a tough cover because he's so young. Tall, PG, with a crazy float game and can get buckets. They need to take Fox out of the series to dead the Kings. Yeah. But that's a good point. Yeah, you take Fox out, the series is over. Because they already neutralized Sabonis. Game 1, Sabonis is, but that's why I don't understand. I think as close as this, as great as Fox was, the Warriors nearly won the game with all those guys struggling shooting. I just don't think Poole, Clay, Wiggins, all those guys will not struggle. How many times in the series will all 3 of those guys shoot poorly? I still think the Warriors. I don't think it was a huge problem. The Fox thing is. I don't think the Fox thing is huge. It's that big. To me, I think neutralizing Sabonis is more important. In which they did in game 1, essentially. Sabonis struggled. He couldn't really get nothing. Fox was gonna be Fox. Fox is one of the best 4-quarter players in the league. In a close game, you knew he was gonna get it. He was gonna get buckets. What about Malik Monk, who comes off the bench and drops 30+? Neutralizing Fox is not gonna be an easy task. If the Warriors trying to focus on neutralizing Fox, I say let Fox and Monk go. They're one-on-one. See, here's the thing. The NBA, if the others are not hitting shots because of the flow of the offense, right? I live with Fox and Monk going one-on-one all day. That means you're taking the flow out of guys like Herter, who needs to be in rhythm to hit threes, which he didn't. Sabonis needs to be in rhythm to get some offensive shots going. The rest of the guys are not in rhythm because Fox and Monk goes one-on-one. I live with that. Let Fox and Monk go off for 60 apiece. 60 together. Let them go off. Keep the other guys shut down. Treat Fox like Allen Iverson, right? That's basically what you do here. You treat him like Allen Iverson. Let him run around. Let him do it one-on-one. You let them go one-on-one. I wouldn't even double. I wouldn't. Don't double Fox. Let him go. That's what I would do. Don't. If it ain't broke, it ain't. Just leave it, Kerr. I agree. Give GB2 more minutes. I agree with that. I agree with that situation. I agree with that angle. But to try to throw a different look. The plan to don't try to neutralize Fox. Because then that could definitely... Okay, here's another one. Let's see. Clay defense fell off. His shot choices are garbage, too. When Steph is on the bench, I love to see a defensive lineup of Dante, GP, Clay, Wiggins, and Dre. Still enough offensive power to keep up while putting our best 5 defenders out there. Also, would love to see more Kuminga. Yeah, Kuminga needs to be the one on the floor more. Forget about Dante. Yeah, this is from the Golden State fan page, though. So the fans in Golden State are reacting on the Golden State page. Someone else is pissed. GB2 already taking minutes from Jordan and Poole and JK. What the fuck? Somebody's pissed about that. Yeah, shot selection was poor. Right about that. look, honestly, Fox is gonna do what Fox does. I'd rather keep Fox in the one-on-one flow. If I'm Golden State, I would try to. You don't want to turn Fox and Monk into playmakers. You want them into shot takers. They're not gonna hit threes at that clip anymore. At that, how many times that's gonna happen? Not really. And let them think they can shoot threes all night. I still think the Warriors will outshoot Sacramento. They shot 18 more threes. The Kings, if the Warriors makes half of those threes, they win the game. I wouldn't mess with the rotation from Steve Kerr. I wait till after game 2, honestly. Even if you go down 0-2, big deal. They still got to come back to Golden State. They still got to win. At least you didn't have 2 sample sizes of what to do, right? Maybe he wants to go defense heavy in game 2 and then try to weigh out what's working, what's not. Maybe that's what he wants to do. I guess if you are gonna tweak anything, it would be in game 2, I guess, because then you get to see what you could do going into game 3, and maybe in game 3 he'll mix it up. He'll do a combination of both, but I hope he doesn't completely abandon the game 1 strategy because I don't think it was that bad. Yeah, so let me see something real quick. So that's the development with the Golden State Warriors. We get ready to end. The third quarter's getting ready to end here. Looks like the Miami Heat with a 6-point lead. They have held off a Milwaukee run. Drew Holiday now leading Milwaukee with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 14 assists. He's heading to a triple-double if he can get 4 more rebounds going into. Jimmy Buckets, 29 points, 8 assists. Kevin Love just knocked down a 3. 9-point lead for the Miami Heat. They're going to crack 100 points for the fourth quarter. Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're not looking so good right now. They're not looking good at all. They might be slightly overrated. After we done seen the Celtics beat the crap out of the Hawks. The Celtics dumped the Hawks. The Celtics are looking to be. They're going all the way to the finals. They got this in the bag, folks. Loose ball foul called on Bobby Portis as we round down the third quarter. Don't forget, you can still get tickets at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona for game number 1 between the Clippers and Suns. Tickets are still available as low as $106 if you want to get that game. Booyah! Kevin Love makes a free throw. Miami enters the game for sure. Bam Bada Baño enters the game. Let me see something real quick. I just want to see something. I'm going to try to move to Gamecast. Oh, man. Fucking tired. I'll just put this on Gamecast, see if I can get this. Kevin Love makes free throws. Third quarter's about to end, folks. I'm telling you right now, don't freak with me. Freaking league. Shamika. Okay, let me go. Let me put this on the big board. I'm gonna try to get this the best I can. There we go. There we go. Boom. Look at that. Now I won't be able to see I can see more scores at least. At least that's what we can do for now. All right. So damn, now I can't see the other part. Oh no, I can still see it up there. Okay, good. 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Miami has 11-point lead over the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll see what happens with that. The Miami Heat. The Miami Heat. How about those Miami Heat, folks? How about those Heat? The Heat. The Heat. The Heat is on fire. Let me see something real quick. What the fuck? End of the third quarter. Third quarter is in the books, folks. 102-88. That sounds like a final score. But that is the end of the third quarter. In Milwaukee, the Bucks taking a beating right now. Wow. Did not see that coming. Gotta be honest with you. All right. Fourth quarter's getting ready to start. Just looking at this real quick. I think we should reset the stream, to be honest. I'm not even sure.
This right here was your first ever credit card. Yes, I said it. Your social security card is a credit card. Your first credit card. If you was born, and you put your names on this, if you look on the back of this, the numbers that's in red, the numbers that's in red, the number.
Yeah. All right. Let's where we at now? Fourth quarter, Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Buckets, 32 points for Jimmy Butler. 10 assists, 4 rebounds. 14 of 23 from the floor. How about that? Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis both with 20 plus for the Bucks. Giannis is out. Any update on Giannis? What happened with Giannis? Did he get hurt? What's going on with Giannis? I haven't seen any updates on let me see something real quick. I'm gonna have to go to social media to find out what happened because it's not showing it on the screen. What a piece of dog poop we got going on here. Let me see. What do you think about that? We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Okay. God damn it. it's only the same account. So, okay, I can't do nothing with that. Damn, man. All right. Let me take this off. I gotta go to Twitter real quick. I wonder if the NBA Twitter feed is up. It's not. It's not. Shit. Oh, that sucks. So what? Anybody know what happened to Giannis? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What happened to Giannis? Okay, NBA Playoff Live. No, that's those gypsy fuckers. Giannis must have got hurt. But I didn't see any announcement on it, so I'll try to figure out. Let me see. Okay, they say he's out for the rest of the game. Explain to me how Giannis got called for a block on defense. Okay, Giannis fell in the first quarter. That explains it. Okay, so apparently we missed a whole lot of stuff. Giannis got hurt in the first quarter. He fell at the 4:13 mark, and he ain't returned. That's the latest on Giannis. Oh, did he return? Even the reporters are not even oh, some people are complaining. Man, Drag Kings Drag Kings. Drag Kings. I meant to say Draft Kings, not Drag Kings. We don't want none of that stuff going on. Draft Kings is refunding on the Giannis situation. Oh God. So we got social media going. Okay, here we go. Update from Shams. Giannis. Oh, that's in Spanish. Why is he talking in Spanish? Yeah, Shams, what the fuck? Where's the English? Dude, really? I can't find anything on Giannis. My thoughts exactly, Giannis. Social media sucks. He cooking bucks. You got no update on Giannis's injury though. Nothing on social media. Zero. So let's see. I'm looking at this. Yeah. I don't got nothing. You guys avoided Giannis' hand injury against the Bulls early this season. Oh, so something's going on with FanDuel. They're not. No. They're not. I don't know. So there's some sports booking issues going on with the NBA. Yeah, I don't understand this. Let's get out of here. Yeah, I don't know what this is about. No one gives. Let me see. Does Sham have an update on Giannis? Yes or no? Because he had something. He just said it in Spanish. I don't know why. Is he working? Okay, so your hero has a broken right hand. Good God. Okay, so Giannis has a lower back contusion that happened back in in 1 hour ago. So let's talk about this situation we got here while we're here. The Sacramento Kings game, right? There was some drama that stirred up in the fourth quarter of that game. There was some drama some sorts of drama. And a hip hop artist by the name of E40 got kicked out the arena. Now, who's E40? I have no idea who this guy is. Maybe he's somebody on the West Coast. I'm not on the West Coast. I don't live in the West Coast, so I'm not familiar with West Coast rappers or hip hoppers or musicians from the West Coast. I know who Snoop is because Snoop Dogg was all over the TV, and I know people. I heard of Tupac, obviously, Dr. Dre, and a few others. I think Exhibit was on a TV show at one point. He did the Pimp My Ride back in the days. But this guy is apparently another big name guy that I don't know who he is, but it goes by the name E40. And E40 apparently got kicked out the Kings game. He's from the Bay Area. He got kicked out of the Kings game. Let's read this from Shams. Shams said, statement from Kings on E40. Sacramento Kings take these claims seriously and are investigating the facts and circumstances regarding the situation, as we do anytime an accusation like this is made. So apparently this E40 character was playing a race car. He said he got kicked out because he was black or something like that. I don't know. Let's read this. Let me see. Can I get that bigger? No? I'll read the most of that. So we can't see it, but it says on Saturday night, this is a statement from E40. He says racial bias was the reason why he got kicked out of the game in the fourth quarter. He says, now, mind you, 50 Cent was at the game. He was courtside. 50 Cent was. A couple other people were also courtside. They even was shown on the screen. But so I don't know what he mean by racial bias. So on Saturday night, this is the words from E40. Some guy named E40. What's his name after a 40 ounce? Empty 40 ounce? I don't know. He says on Saturday night he was subjected to disrespect, heckling over the course of the Warriors-Kings game. During the fourth quarter, I finally turned around and addressed one heckler in an assertive but polite manner. Yet, shortly thereafter, Kings security approached me, assumed that I instigated the encounter, and proceeded to kick me out of the arena. Unfortunately, it was yet another reminder that despite my success and accolades as a musician and entrepreneur, racial bias remains prevalent. Security saw a disagreement between a black man and a white woman and immediately assumed that I was at fault. I've attended countless NBA games throughout my lifetime and have always prided myself in my professionalism. So this experience has been jarring. I was absolutely humiliated. I can't even pronounce the goddamn word. Humiliated by the Kings security team, and I'm calling on the franchise to investigate the appalling conduct that transpired. I'm truly grateful for my fans and supporters who have reached out to express their concern and disappointment regarding these disheartening circumstances, and I hope those involved are held accountable for their behavior. Oh, man. I don't understand what. So he didn't say what he said. What did he say? It doesn't sound like a lot of details there. It just says, did he say what the fans said? Of course he's gonna try. I guarantee you, if there weren't cell phones around back in the days, like today, he probably would have said, "This woman called me the N-word, and I politely told her to fuck off, and the security team kicked me out." I'm surprised that wasn't the allegation, because he knows there's people with cameras around, and obviously he would be made a fool. So a security guard kicked him out because he said something back to a woman? Doesn't sound legit. We need to see video. We need to see more. Not video of him being removed, because everybody's posting video of him being removed as that's the encounter. It's kind of like with these police videos where people post video of the aftermath and say, hey, look, this is what happened. Yeah. Like, instead of just telling us, showing us what happened from the start. Like, I like to hear from her. But I don't know. So that's E40. Like I said, don't know who he is. Never heard of him. Apparently, he's a big deal, as he said in his own tweet, in his statement. You know, I'm a legend. I'm the big man. I should be treated better because I'm privileged. That's what he basically was saying. He didn't like the fact that he got kicked out. Look, dude, they gonna treat the road team differently than the home team. It's called home court advantage for a reason. All right? Like, just don't be a wuss. And that's what E40 was. Yeah, that's Giannis. He got hurt. So we'll find out what happened with Giannis. That's why the Bucks are losing. So without Giannis, this team is completely gone. They have zero chance of winning anything. So we'll see what happens. Now Miami lost somebody too, right? All right, so let's go to let me see something real quick. Let's go back to the scoreboard. We still got a ball game though. It's not over yet, folks. 111, 102, about 6 minutes to go. The Bucks can, if they have enough to make a run, we will see. Of course. We will see if they can make a run in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter. All right. That's it for us. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to put you on simulcast as I go get my food because I'm starving. And we'll be back. HoopsSteady, sports page, run by sports fans.
The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs start Monday night. Matt Fitzpatrick won the golf event at Hilton Head, South Carolina. Kyle Larson took NASCAR's 400 at Martinsville. In baseball tonight, Astros and Rangers scoreless in the fourth. I'm Steve DeSager.
This is Fox Sports Sunday. Fox Sports Sunday is on. The plays, the interviews, the players, the coaches, the breaking news, the top stories. When it goes down, we will cover it all. You better step up and get in control. Fox Sports Sunday is right now. Live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio. Here's Mark Willard and 13-year NFL veteran Ephraim Salaam.
Okay, my dude, it got interesting real fast, didn't it? It got interesting real fast. Major names with injuries and upstart teams already starting to raise their hand to be counted. We are broadcasting live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. An unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. That is Ephraim Salaam. I'm Mark Willard. However you are bringing us in tonight across the land, we thank you so much for doing it. Listen, now I have a point, Ephraim.
Okay,
I have
let's
a
go.
point
What we got?
that I'd like to make. Well, no.
Let's make the point, man.
I think
what are we doing?
no, but I think you should have first serve. I think you should have what?
Okay.
That was a nice little, it was a tidy little 15-0 run there in the basketball
man, just
game earlier.
close that on out,
tidy.
man.
That was tidy. It was Purdy. It wasn't Brock Purdy. It was just straight Purdy. And I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, since you asked, the thing I wanted to see with the Lakers this playoffs is there's always this notion, especially teams that have a storied history and have dynamic players that actually won championships and been through the grind. Like when you get there, right? When you get there, it clicks in. It's a completely different story than the regular season. It's a whole second season, okay? Everything you did in the regular season, however you got there, none of it matters because now you're in, the playoffs. This is when every team has an opportunity to win a championship. Very few teams have won championships that are in these playoffs. And, the Lakers coming into this, I wanted to see were they had plenty of rest, 4 days. 4 days, right? They battled that back in the play-in and got themselves into a situation where they could take a break. They could get some rest and gear up for this game on the road. And that's what they did. They came out, and from the beginning, it was a back-and-forth game. They were playing. Memphis would go on runs. They would go on runs. And it came down in the fourth quarter. John Morant hurt his hand, had to leave the game. And then the Laker others really stepped up. To me, if that happens consistently, and I'm not asking Rory to go out and give us almost 30 a night, but if he can consistently knock down and open shots and put the pressure on a defense that's trying to take the ball out of AD and LeBron's hand, then the Western Conference is in trouble.
Hachimura and Austin Reeves, the two leading scorers for the Lakers, just like you drew it up. So everybody talks about the championship DNA of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Go ahead and put the Splash Brothers in there as well for the Golden State Warriors. And it's Hachimura and Austin Reeves combining for 52 points in a Laker road victory.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Beautiful.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong with anything you said.
You know what the biggest thing that LeBron only played 34 minutes. That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
Good. That's going to be
I'm telling you, boy, if that oh my goodness.
It's going to be helpful.
Because if they could get through this grind of a first round series and him playing under 35 minutes a night, boy.
Well, let me share something that you probably already know, but as a follower and a fan of the Golden State Warriors, I can already tell you, this is not to say that the Memphis Grizzlies are not good, but boy, I know their bark is worse than their bite. That is a fact. Their bark is really good. Their bite's fine. It's good. It's good. This series is not over yet.
No,
Memphis Grizzlies can play, but man, their bark is way worse than their bite.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you ask for, right?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And the Grizzlies have always spoken like a franchise that has achieved more than it has. So, okay, let's put that over here for a second because I like everything that you said, but I have a question. Now, the Kings showed themselves exactly like they needed to last night. They beat the Golden State Warriors. However, I happen to think that the Warriors in that game, there were a couple of hidden things that if you're watching very closely, let's just say, and I've always had a healthy respect for the Kings' ability to win this series, and I still do, but let me just say that after what I watched last night, I still firmly believe that the Warriors are going to win that series. And if the Warriors and Lakers do play in the second round, Ephraim, give me your marketing slogan for next year's NBA regular season.
If the
Warriors play the
and
Lakers in round two, the Warriors and the Lakers play in round two, the popular thought is, well, the NBA will just be darn thrilled, won't they? Look at this. It's Los Angeles and it's San Francisco and it's all of these champions, and it'll be an unbelievable series, and that is all correct.
Yes.
Do next year's regular season and give me your marketing slogan.
Championship start in California.
Okay, that's one thing you could say. I have an idea. How about go to sleep and we'll see you in April? How about that? Would you like a T-shirt that says go to sleep, we'll see you in April?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. because
that's
exactly
what I'm getting at now.
And
I
I understand exactly what you're doing there, because these are both teams were much maligned, especially Sacramento on the road. Injuries, missing players, limping in, down to the wire, the final couple games, play in for the Lakers, just missed a play in for Golden State, and they have a good opportunity to meet in the quarterfinals of the NBA playoffs.
Now, the Kings won last night. That's not lost on
Let's talk
me,
about that game,
okay?
because that was a great game. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead and dive into it.
It was a great game. It was a great game. I think that it would be a disservice to anybody with the Kings organization to start anywhere other than De'Aaron Fox. This was no surprise to me, but I know that many around the nation have probably not had an opportunity to watch this young man
Nobody
play
has.
before.
Right.
He is restaurant quality, okay? This guy, he's fantastic. And in the second half, he was at the height of his powers. That's when he's at his best. I don't know if he's necessarily going to look like that for the whole series.
He will.
But
That's just what he does. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's how. If that's how you look in the second half of your, wait for it, first ever playoff game.
Ever.
That has to be a concern for the Warriors, because the whole thought going in is, well, right, when we get there, you guys will see what this is actually like. Like, these are the playoffs. I think it's wonderful that you're good during the regular season, but this is different. And De'Aaron Fox, no one told him. No one told him that it's different, and he's like, it's not different. The basket's the same height, it's the same size, and I'm going to keep putting the ball in it.
But okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You know what the scary thing is? What people are not really understanding.
You're going to say Sabonis didn't even play well?
That's just an obvious. That's an obvious.
Yep.
We can point directly to that, because he's a monster. Okay, he's not going to shoot 5 for 17. He's not going to do that. That's not going to happen.
They defended him well.
They did.
I liked
They really
their approach. They defended him well. Yes, but go ahead.
But once you get a little bit of Draymond, I guarantee he's going to come out more aggressive. But the thing that people aren't familiar with Sacramento is Malik Monk coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is a bona fide nightmare. Okay? You come into the game, you play 29 minutes, and you score 32 points. That's a problem. This is what he's been doing the entire year in Sacramento. The entire year.
So the issue for the Warriors there is, and it's funny because you're watching the Kings, and I watched them play the way they played last night, and I immediately go, boy, who does this remind me of? And it was very easy. Snap of a finger. You want to know who that team reminds me of? They remind me of the We Believe Warriors. And if you're not familiar with who the We Believe Warriors were, this was the Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Al Harrington Warriors who upset the Mavericks as the 8th seed in the first round of the playoffs years ago, and then put the fear of God in Utah in the second round. And then that was it. That's all they did. They just won one round.
Yep.
They're beloved here in the Bay Area as if they won a title, the way people talk about them, because they were two things. They were surprising and upstart, right? They went further than they were supposed to. And the second thing they were wildly entertaining and relentless. It felt like at all times, no matter who the five were on the floor, they were coming at you. There was somebody with a three-point shot that could go in. And even if you scored at the other end, as soon as the smile was wiped off your face, the ball was going in the bucket on the other end. And that's the Kings. And that's no surprise. They are very, very good offensively, and I love the way. Did you hear the mic'd up situations with Mike Brown last night? I love the way he's coaching them. They're young, they're brand new, they're dynamic offensively, and he leaned right into that. This is a defensive coach who's on the sideline going, guys, as soon as you get it across half court, go crazy. Yep. Let it fly. Let it rip. Shoot it. Shoot it fast. Shoot it again if it doesn't go in. Shoot it. I love it. I love it. He is coaching the team that he has. And so that is really, really good. All of that said, I'll still say this, Ephraim. I saw from the Warriors what a Warrior fan wants to see to think that they still do indeed have a chance. The Warriors on the road this year against elite offensive teams kept getting overwhelmed in the second half to lose by 15, 17, 19 points. That didn't happen in this one. The Kings needed to play absolutely at the height of their powers in the second half in order to win, and they did. They deserve all that credit. But as the Warriors said after the game, with Andrew Wiggins back on the court, they looked and they felt whole for the first time all year. They lost by 3 points. If they lose tomorrow night, I might have a different tune. I don't think they're going to lose tomorrow night. I still have them in 6 games.
I don't know if Sacramento agrees with that assessment. The thing
I know that they don't. I know that they don't.
First of all, it's difficult to play in Sacramento. The fans up there are. I mean, I was actually in Sacramento. When is that? Yesterday. It was crazy.
You were?
Oh yeah. I was up there. It was nuts.
They're legit. They are legit.
I grew up
been
there,
16
right?
years.
So, yeah. So I was there when, it was the, Jason Williams and the Bibbies and the Weber and going against the Lakers and the energy and the Divac, all of those things. The energy, this team, this city has been waiting for this, right? The players are going to feed off of that. It's going to be very difficult for Golden State to win in that building during this playoffs. It is. It is. And I know, you have the cachet of the championship hue, that core is still together with some young pieces winning championships last year. You get Gary Payton II back. It's going to be difficult because Steph and Clay didn't shoot that bad. Okay? They made them work for these shots, but if they aren't perfect, the pressure is on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And that's why I think Sacramento has the edge at home, because they're going to put it make it a situation where it's going to be a frenzy. They got young bodies, and those kids can play, man. Right? Led by the X factor, which is Harrison Barnes, who has a score to settle with Golden State. You got to remember, he was replaced by KD.
And he played very well,
yep.
I thought he played very well, 13 points, 7 boards. A couple of his offensive rebounds were absolutely critical. So, look, it was great stuff. I'll say this. I thought going into this series that the Kings were going to win Game 1. I thought the energy would be incredible. I thought the Kings needed Game 1 more than the Warriors. And now that flips. So, here's where I'll meet you. I think the winner of tomorrow night's game is winning the series.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think the winner of tomorrow night's game is winning the series, and I think that I've watched Golden State all year long be a team that sometimes needs to get hit in the face before it really, really responds. So that's what I expect tomorrow night. I remember Game 4 in Boston last year in the finals when they were being told they were about to lose in that series. They never lost again, and there's no road environment that was harder than that. And so we'll see. Tomorrow night, I'm with you. The intensity gets ratcheted up, and I believe the winner of tomorrow night's game has got this thing.
That's a good assessment. I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
This is a big, big, big boy game tomorrow night. Okay, so much more on that because I really do believe, let's say the Warriors do win tomorrow night. The Lakers and Warriors will both be off to what I would consider a very good start to having the 6 seed play the 7 seed in the second round, and therefore the NBA can be excited for the moment, but in the long term, they've got a problem. More on that coming up. That's Ephraim Salam. I'm Mark Willard, and this is Fox Sports Radio.
Attention listeners. April 27th is set. With the first.
All right. There we go. So, had to go get some food real quick. So you heard the guys on FSR talking about the Kings Warriors series and the Lakers. I will say that I kind of disagree with. He says whoever wins game 2 wins the series. I disagree with that because I think that might only apply if the Warriors win game 2, probably. But if the Kings go up 2-0, I don't think that means they're going to win the series. I just think the series doesn't start to the home team loses. So I don't think I would disagree with that. Of course, I would disagree. And it depends on who wins by how much. All right, we've been here about 3 hours now. Probably gonna get out of here. I'm gonna transfer over to the live screen on HoopsSteady TV and come over there, follow us. We're gonna go live over there. Hopefully, you get the game up or not. Final score in Milwaukee, 130-117. A lot of offense in this playoffs. Like, Jesus. The points are at a premier. That's the final. Look at the shot chart here in this game. Look at that. Look at that shot chart. Miami shot 60% from 3. 59 for the game. I mean, just look at all the... Some bad offense in the NBA, boy. Some bad offense. I mean, some bad defense, excuse me, in the NBA. Look at that shot chart. Look at the threes. So that's the end. Game 2 will be in 3 days on NBA TV. NBA TV. NBA TV? Oh my God. Good luck finding that on your TV. Jimmy Butler led the Miami Heat with 35 points. Chris Middleton with 33 to lead the Bucks. And Giannis is out. 130 points. God, that's a lot of. So, that's it, folks. Next time this game will be on national TV, we'll be back in game 3. We'll be on ESPN. And we don't know the rest of 4, 5, 6, or 7 if it goes. So, that's it for Milwaukee. 130, 117 coming up next. I guess will be the second game. Suns and Clippers. That should be the game of the night. Suns Clippers. That will be coming up in about 10 minutes. So, live from Footprint Arena, I think it is. Or Footstool, whatever. So that's it for the broadcast here on HoopsSteady on YouTube. Don't forget HoopsSteady. We're on HoopsSteady on Instagram. Follow us, send us an email at sportssteady@protonmail.com. And come on over to SportsSteady TV in about 10 minutes as we go live over there. Sports page run by sports fans. Peace.